In this video, I want to go over 10 different Diamond Dynasty tips that will help you throughout the entire year in MLB The Show 25. And these are especially helpful for those of you that do not spend any money on the game, just because these are things that can help you make more stubs all throughout Diamond Dynasty, help you work through programs quicker, and a lot more things that can give you some advantages over a lot of other Diamond Dynasty players. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We have so many more Diamond Dynasty videos on the way very soon. But let's go ahead and jump into the first tip that I have for you guys. So the first thing is, it does seem like this year there's going to be a lot more sellable reward cards in programs such as the multiplayer program, the inning XP reward path, and even in the offline themed programs. At the very least, it does seem like there's going to be more packs in there in the theme programs, which will have sellable cards. So what's going to be super important, especially for no money spent players, is getting up to these player cards like in the inning XP path or some of these other programs as quickly as you possibly can, so that you can get these cards and sell them immediately and make as many stubs as possible. And these cards will only go down in value, as more and more people unlock them in the program. So getting to them, selling them quickly, and then eventually buying them back later if you want at a cheaper price is something you can do that is just a great way to be making some extra stubs to help you out with some collections or whatever you need stubs for. And then one last thing to keep in mind for the XP inning programs is you can lock in all 3 bosses, and this will actually get you a head start in the next inning program. In other words, it will get you a head start to more stubs just because you can continue this process of obtaining the boss cards quickly, selling them for profit in the next XP path, so on and so forth. Then moving on to the second tip I want to cover that I know a lot of people do, but not everyone is super efficient with it, and that is to do your best to stack program grinding. So basically what I mean by this is when you're grinding anything in Diamond Dynasty, I would try to focus on missions from several different programs at a time so you can get through these programs quicker and you can acquire all of these program rewards quicker. So if you're working on missions, for example, in the multiplayer program, I would also suggest looking at missions in other programs like Team Affinity. And, then you could pick a theme program to grind, like the pipeline program missions. And then you can maybe even add in some cornerstone evolution players into your lineup to also be grinding those program missions. That way you're earning mission progress in all of these programs at the same time. And just make sure you know exactly what you need to hit in all of these missions to complete them. Tip number 3, it's probably smartest to be patient with the multiplayer program and prioritize the offline program grinding at the beginning of each multiplayer program. So they stagger out when new mission drops for the multiplayer program. So at the very beginning of the game, for example, there's only 1 drop of missions. But in my opinion, it makes sense to start with the offline program grinding, build up your team, and then once you like where your team is at and you're done with some of the offline grinding, then you can focus more on the multiplayer program. And I think my plan is going to be to pretty much only do offline grinding until the second drop, and then once more missions get here for multiplayer, then I'll hop into ranked, grind both of these mission drops at the same time so I can stack mission progress. Moving on to the next one, I think there's going to be a lot of people that forget about the cornerstone evolution cards you acquire from the inning XP paths, but completing these programs is another way to get a lot of XP. You get 10k from each program, you get a few packs, you'll also be earning an upgraded version of these players, and to complete these evolution programs, it's going to be easy. It's going to take a little time, but while you grind for other programs, you can keep in mind what you need to do for these programs and slowly knock these out, these evolution missions out, which will allow you to upgrade this player to a higher overall, but then also, most importantly, I think, is get the XP too. Tip number 5 I have for you guys is whether you grind conquest maps or not, I would definitely go into every single conquest map that comes out, move around to every spot on each map so you can pick up most of the hidden rewards. Some maps will have better hidden rewards than others, and I recommend getting through most conquest maps anyways, but at the very least, I would move around, get most of the hidden rewards, because this is just some extra packs, stubs, or other items that you might forget about, but are some of the easiest free rewards you can get in the entire game. The next tip I have for you guys goes along with Team Affinity, and let's say you guys are not planning on completing most of the reward paths for the My Journey Team Affinity. I highly recommend you go through every single team and at the very least complete the 1 moment for every team, because that's all you need to do to unlock that team's silver card. Keep in mind this silver card will go into the Legends and Flashbacks collection, and I would recommend going further into these Team Affinity program paths to get the other, gold and diamond players to help out in the Legends and Flashback collections. But at the very least, early on in the Team Affinity program cycle, I would do all of these moments when you can, pick up these silver cards, and then worry about everything else later if you want. The seventh thing I have for you guys, and this one might seem obvious, but if you want to complete collections like the Live Series collections, do not be wasting your stubs on stupid things you don't need, and especially packs. You might get lucky occasionally with packs, but the odds are just not in your favor, and you'll be earning so many packs just from grinding the game that it's always smart to just hold on to your stubs, be as stingy as possible. And I think the main thing you should be putting your stubs into are the collections, and if you're choosing to finish off some collections and upgrading your team, it's just going to be worth it. And I think that's one of those things that people know, but they just can't help themselves with packs and other things. So just be stingy. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. And now tip number 8 that I have for you guys is to sell everything, literally everything that you don't need or doesn't go into an important collection. So I would consistently go through your inventory because you'll always find new things you can sell. When you do sell things, make sure you are putting in sell orders though, so you're maximizing your stubs, getting the most amount that you possibly can for each thing that you're selling. A couple times a week I would go through your entire inventory of players or other items like jerseys, equipment, sponsorships, other various items, and put sell orders on everything you don't need. It can get tedious after a while, but this is a good way to be earning stubs you might not realize you have until you actually go through your inventory. Tip 9 is to always pay attention to every content drop and grind the day of these content drops if you can. The reason I say this is because new programs are going to have sellable rewards. Like in the Pipeline one, there's the pack at the end that has sellable diamonds, if you pull a diamond from one of those. And you can bank a ton of stubs if you get through these as quickly as possible and sell them before everyone else does. Also, when content drops, there also could be big market crashes that when you could take advantage of. Being on right when this content drops and market crashes happen is just a great opportunity. Also, when in MLB 24, when new content dropped, they would put out free packs in the store for a limited amount of time. So if they continue to do that in MLB 25, then you'll want to get in the habit of checking the store and picking up your free packs on these content drop days. And then tip number 10, if you are no money spent, it's even more important to take advantage of big market swings or crashes, like when flash sales happen or other market crashes. Then there's going to be good times to buy low on cards, like during market crashes or other times that might be maybe good to sell high on certain cards that you don't think you'll need anymore, or you don't need for a collection or something. Buying low on cards during market crashes is just another good stub making opportunity method though, because eventually once the market corrects and prices start to go up again, then you can sell off those cards and make a nice little profit for yourself. There's also plenty of other ways to be making a lot of stubs on the market, for example, flipping cards, but that'll be a separate video, and I'll have a separate video just on stub making methods in general. But let me know in the comments if there's any other tips you would have for no money spent players that I maybe didn't cover enough in the video. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. I appreciate you sticking around to the end and watching this one. See you guys in the next video. Peace.